Assalamualaikum and good morning. I am Syazana Rudana from Bachelor Information Business student. Today I want to present about the mini research about the missionaries during our job. For the summary, this research much has been written about the rise of robots and the potential impact of automation on the economy. The report findings summarized below offer new insight that can help inform ongoing debates about the future of work and the impact of automation. The first takeaway is that robots are indeed coming, but there is little evidence that robotic role is leading to widespread job displacement, as some have predicted. The economy is being lifted by the new concept of robotic, but we cannot be sure of all the possible benefits. For the problem in this research is in the technology of robotic has been enormous, but at the same time there has not been much research conducted on the effect of the robotic on the employment and motivation of employees in the service sector or in healthcare in particular. Organizations today are faced with increasing labor costs and shortage of workers and are thus investing in robotics. Robots never demand resources and are able to work around the clock. What makes a firm ready for the challenges of the future is not just technology but the management of human resources, especially the impact of robots on the employment and motivation of employees in the healthcare sector. For the objective to shed light on the facilitation of robotics in healthcare and its impact on the employment and motivation of employees, and also to assess its possible advantages or disadvantages. Basis to study the various factors that should be responsible for attracting the healthcare providers to use robotics in their operations. Research assess the impact of robotics on employment and employee motivation. Assess the impact of robotics on healthcare. The robotization and AI-based machine learning will improve the prediction and decision-making capability of machines, leading to the prevalence of the substitution effect on the complementary effect between workers and machines, and consequently disruptive outcome in terms of job losses and the disqualification certain typology of workers. For the content, background of the country is I choose the American country at the Midwest as defined by the federal government, comprise the state of Illinois, Indian federal government, actually composed of two regions, the Northwest Territory or the Old Northwest and Great Plains. The Midwest has become more an ideal region, an area immense diversity but somehow consciously representative of a national average. American Revolution and was organized under a series of ordinances that set the precedent for the admission of future territories into the Union. After the American Civil War, the growth experienced by the Midwest was dramatic. Transportation, immigration, and industrialization of all played a part. By 1890, Chicago, not even 60 years old, had come to the second largest city in the country. The result of this research, the impact of the robotic has both positive and negative impact on the employment and motivation of employees in the retail sector. So far, there has been no substantial research done into robotics, especially in the healthcare sector. Robots have helped his company grow 24% in increased operational safety. Greenberg told that when he held the company, which was the largest burger basket maker in the country, in the late 1990, the most modern technology in the plant was a fat machine, and the top worker could produce a basket by hand and every 12 seconds. Greenberg argues the robot have made its worker more valuable and highly paid, and their competitor recently won a hard order for sheet metal basket. For the conclusion, replacing employment with robots is an inevitable choice for organizations in the service sector, mostly in the healthcare sector because of the challenging and sometimes unhealthy working environment. But at the same time, the research proposes that it should be done in a manner that helps in improving the employment and motivation of employees in this sector. If this sector having in Malaysia, the pollution in Malaysia get many jobs, and if there are not enough workers, that robot can take over the place of the workers. It also simplify employees and eases the workload. Apart from that, with the availability of this robot, and employment rate is also likely to decrease because more robots in Malaysia. The population will have served as preparing robots that have a problem. If I am Prime Minister of a country, I will further expand the service of robots, especially to large sectors such as factory that make vehicles. This is because the factory sector makes the vehicle more need to do heavy jobs. The new things in International Business Island in the research I study are in this era robots are as full for workers to do work, especially in factory. This is because this machinery will help the worker to perform the job. Machinery will help the worker perform the job faster and achieve the largest set by the factory. In addition, machinery is also very useful to the hospital in terms of treating patients who have been critical and difficult to treat physically. With this sophisticated machine, the population will not lose their job and the country economy will also be more developed. Therefore, other countries will also make the developed and modern countries as an example to the development of their respective country, and the Prime Minister will also work so that the country can achieve the target in his plan.